Hi, my name is Joanne Lee. I am a part of the Community Service Learning Program at the University of Alberta. We are currently working with the Regional Environmental Action Committee on a plastics remanufacture project. Your research is mostly based on the fumes that are being released from the plastics. I feel that is a pretty new thing that, and a lot of people are still not aware that plastics are releasing fumes. So when did you start realizing that?
Yes, so when I was at the Center of Microbial Oceanography, Research and Education at University of Hawaii, I was in a research group that was studying the emissions of methane from biology in the ocean. My colleagues, they were measuring methane production from biology in seawater, and they were making incubations, and they realized that most of the methane that was being produced was well over what they expected, so about 90% more than usually what you would measure from the biological production. They went back to their experimental protocol, and at that time they realized that, wow, most of the methane is being produced by the bottles in which they were incubating seawater, and these bottles were made out of plastic. So basically, plastic would emit greenhouse gases such as methane, ethylene, propylene, propane, CO2 as well. And methane, for example, is about 21 times more potent than CO2. So this was an important discovery. And there was a very strong link between plastic pollution and climate change, which are the two major issues in the world today in terms of environment. I decided to ask my boss, can I please continue working on this project? And it worked, so I could continue the research and basically publish the paper about the emissions of greenhouse gases from plastic.
So when did you realize that we need to transform the way that we manage plastics then?
Well, I guess it's always been part of what I thought, like we should not use plastic, at least single-use plastic items. They are easily replaceable by other reusable items. So I don't really see the point in using single-use plastic items. Recycling is definitely not a solution. It used to be a solution 30 years ago, but I think in terms of human beings and technology, we have evolved, and we know now that we should no longer use single-use plastic. So we have to refuse plastic. And hence, if we refuse this single-use plastic, then recycling will have no more purpose. Right. So I think the first thing is to refuse it. And in the small instances where we need to consume single-use plastic, yes, recycling is the best option, of course. With the plastic that is already out there, we have to remove it because it keeps on degrading, fragmenting, becoming smaller and smaller and harder to pick up. Microplastic and picoplastic and nanoplastic, they are so hard to remove from the environment compared to a bottle. So we really need to be careful about this and to put a lot of energy on removing the plastic that is out there and then preventing more plastic from being dumped into the environment. We need all these organizations, beach cleanup, stream cleanup, river cleanup, ocean cleanup. We need all of these organizations worldwide there out there to remove that plastic. But these organizations, they are there to help with the problem that we used to have in the past, which is overconsumption of plastic and problem with waste management issues. But we should not interpret them as being organizations that will solve the problems for the future. So it doesn't mean that since we have organizations picking up trash out there that we should continue consuming plastic. Then we have all this projected plastic to be produced, and we need to bring that number low. And we need to change our habits. We need to say no to single-use plastic. We have to find better alternatives. We have to deal well with our waste. So these are all things we have to work to have a better future.
Well, on that note, in your perspective, what is the most important public message about plastic?
Yeah, is that we have to refuse single-use plastic. We have to find better alternatives. And although the consumers, I mean, we have a big responsibility, but we should make sure then where the plastic is coming from, and the manufacturers of the plastic should also be aware of all these negative effects and work towards better solution than producing plastic. So very often we put the blame on the consumers, but we have to think about who's making this plastic and to give responsibilities to the industry as well.
That is true. Thanks for taking the time to watch this interview with Dr. Sarah Jean. For more info, check out our full interviews. Thanks again for watching, and take care.